Hi there, and welcome to another episode of Up Close and Personal. I'm Yashika Graham, and as you know, every episode we feature your cool crew. This time around, we're finding out what it takes to lead. Our special guest is General Manager of Aerotel Ltd and KOOL97FM, Mr. Howard Armstrong. Welcome to Up Close and Personal.
Thank you. Great to be here.
So let's jump into the cool end of things. Is there a cool memory that stands out for you, or something that's your favorite thing about being a part of the KOOL family?
Well, there have been a few experiences over the last 6 years that I've been here. But before I get into any specific highlights, I think I'd just like to mention how gratifying it is to be recognized as being associated with KOOL. I find that my shirts invariably are branded with both Aerotel and KOOL.
Right.
But nobody seems too concerned about Aerotel. They're immediately drawn to the fact that I work for KOOL.
The celebrity.
Yes, and people just love what we do and the music we play and the personalities we have. So that is particularly gratifying for me. I would like Aerotel to be on the map in the same way, but certainly the emotions that KOOL seems to evince is always very pleasant. More generally, a couple of highlights that I can recall. One is a party that KOOL sponsored in Atlanta, Georgia, and I attended as special guest and sponsor and made a presentation and so on. And the popularity that KOOL enjoyed in that environment was surprising to me. I know that we do well in overseas markets. I didn't know that the extent of the passion for KOOL that is here exists elsewhere. Similarly, for our 18th anniversary party weekend celebration at the Braca Village in Trelawney a couple of years ago, we invited listeners to come and join us for the weekend and so on. And I was surprised at the number of persons who, were listening to KOOL overseas, heard of our weekend and the opportunity to come and meet our celebrities, hosts, and our DJs and so on, and made the effort, got on a plane, came down, spent the money to be with us for the weekend. So KOOL is a special place, run by special people, and it's been an absolute joy to have been associated with it for the past 6 years.
Yeah. Wow. So what exactly does Aerotel do?
Yes, $1 million question that nobody seems to know. Aerotel actually is Aeronautical Telecommunications Ltd, responsible for the technical support of the national air traffic management systems and communication, navigation, and surveillance facilities. So we support, in a very critical way, the aviation industry of Jamaica to keep the airspace safe. The air traffic controllers and the aeronautical weather people and the JDF and everybody who uses aviation facilities relies on our technical support to ensure that the requisite systems are working and are accurate, and pilots ultimately know what they're doing and where they're going.
And how does KOOL fit into that space?
Yeah, great. So it was decided some time ago that it would be a good thing to broadcast flight information to keep the traveling public aware. And so KOOL was given a broadcast license. Aerotel, I beg your pardon, was given a broadcast license to do that specifically, to broadcast flight information across the island from both airports. And then after that, it was decided that why not expand that into a full commercial radio station. And so that's how Aerotel got into KOOL, and KOOL made its way with its continuing focus on aviation news and information, as well as, of course, providing the best music.
Yes.
To the nation.
So as the leader of Aerotel, as the person in charge of growth and helping to build the organization, and having had much success already in other areas of your work, what would you say has helped you to achieve all that you've achieved so far?
Well, it sounds like my CV has represented my accomplishments.
Good job, CV.
To a more significant degree than maybe the real case. But But yes, I certainly have had the privilege to work in a few different places and do a few different things, and I suppose there have been some accomplishments along the way. What would I attribute that to? Probably first and foremost, an abiding faith in the Almighty. I believe that there is one who has ultimate control over the happenings of the universe, and so my credo is to do what I can to the best of my ability, and then allow the Creator to handle the rest.
Yes.
And that sort of comfort and assurance is helpful, because it can be lonely in leadership, can be lonely at the top of an organization. Sometimes you have to make decisions and you can't bring camaraderie and friendship into it. You have to do what you have to do. And so that abiding faith is certainly has certainly helped me, I would say. The other thing is that I have a genuine like for people. I'm a people person, not always the case for somebody who is an engineer by initial training. we can oftentimes be focused on the machinery and not the accompanying persons. But I do have that ability. Maybe I'm a lesser of an engineer for it, but that love, genuine love for people and for interacting with people and seeing people come to self-actualization and fulfillment, that I think has been helpful in me making my way.
Okay. Generally, when we think of leaders, we think of someone who is their main role tends to be, or one of their main roles tends to be motivating and guiding a set of people. How does Howard Armstrong stay motivated?
Personally?
Yes.
I go back to my aforementioned faith. That helps. I have a natural inclination towards achievement. Management for me is about interacting with people and managing systems, processes, persons, but ultimately goals must be achieved. And I find personal motivation in setting goals and working with a team to attain same. So it's not just about being here and even about doing things well, but it's ultimately about getting to the end and saying we have done it. And so I'm a very goal-oriented person. There's an old credo called management by objectives that seems to have gone out the window for some, but for me it remains a big part of how I operate. Objectives must be set and they must be achieved, and we must have fun pursuing them and achieving them.
Important.
So that personally motivates me as well.
Okay.
I am also a family man. Married happily to Margaret for 21 years. I have 2 kids that are trouble at times, but all things considered, they are a pleasure to have around. So being able to get away from work at the end of it, a long day usually, but at the end I go home, and home is for me a pleasant place.
Balancing.
Yeah.
That leads me to my next question. I'm curious to what degree your role as father impacts how you lead in the professional space.
Yes. One word. Patience. I have learned patience from having children, and I have learned that there's always another perspective, and I don't necessarily know it all or even know it best. So I've learned to listen and to entertain other points of view, even from persons who would seemingly not be as experienced or as knowledgeable as me. I think my children taught me that, and I have parlayed that into the workplace, I think, to fair effect.
Okay, nice. So we know you're a lover of sports, and that your all-time favorite team is, of course, the True Blue, JC.
Yes.
Where do you stand on international football? What is your team of choice?
Yes, I did have the privilege to go to the high school that the country is named after, Jamaica College. And so I bask in our almost continuous success in sports. I won't but mention here that we are the reigning Manning Cup champions and the reigning champs school at championships. Internationally, I am a fan of the Arsenal Football Club in the UK. Regrettably, that has not been going quite as well as JC has. But these things go in fits and starts, and we fully expect to be back where we belong as the Arsenal soon enough.
Okay, awesome. So there is something going around about you being a DJ. You're a lover of music. We're going to get to the DJ aspect in a little bit, but you're a lover of music. What kind of music pulls you? What do you love to listen to?
Okay, somebody's been spreading vicious rumors. I'm a DJ. I used to be a DJ. I haven't had occasion to get on the turntables for a couple of years now, but maybe it's like a bicycle and you never forget. I trust that is the case. I trust that is the case. I do genuinely like all genres of music. I've invested what most people would consider to be an obscene amount of money in my personal hi-fi stereo system at home and my music collection. And in that space, I listen to everything from classical to jazz to easy listening to whatever. When I'm in my DJ guys, mostly dance music of all eras, from 50s to 2021. I like to play dance music and to get people moving.
Yes.
I also like reggae and dancehall, but for that, I'm a little more dated, sort of 70s, 80s, 90s.
Okay.
Up into the 2000s, but some of what's passing today as reggae and so on, it doesn't really suit me quite as well. So reggae, dancehall, 70s, 80s, 90s, R&B, again, all genres. And I do actually play a bit of Latin as well.
What?
And,
so are you a dancer too?
My wife suggests not, but I think I'm fairly competent. And she can't claim that I have ever trampled on her toes. So I'm not the best, but I can hold my own.
Yes, it is important to get out there on the dance floor and enjoy yourself.
Yes,
so about the DJ aspect, can we expect a DJ GM or a DJ Howard or a DJ Armstrong? I'm giving you some options here. On KOOL as a guest DJ at some point.
Well, do you know, my official name is Howard Christopher Armstrong. So before I came to KOOL, I did carry the moniker DJ Chris.
What?
I have found that somebody's already here occupying that space.
The crazy one.
So I suspect I will. Rosman has been whispering in my ear, and I suspect I will, but part of that will have to be finding myself a new name,
moniker, a new
moniker,
name, right? Okay. Well, that seems to me like maybe the lesser part of the work to be done. So don't worry about that. We have creative minds here. We can help you.
Okay.
Well, that is the end of our show for this episode. I do want to thank you so much for giving us some insights into what it takes to guide this space and to some of the fun that you have in this serious position that you occupy at the same time. And we also want to thank our wonderful KOOL listeners and viewers for tuning in to another episode of Up Close and Personal. Our special guest today has been Mr. Howard Armstrong, General Manager of Aerotel Ltd and KOOL97FM. And to find out if he will indeed be featured on KOOL97FM as your next DJ, well, you just have to keep listening. I'm Yashika Graham for Up Close and Personal. Catch you next time.